So we're going to be tasting 3 wines today, each one from a different IDS hub, so from Miami, from Dubai and from the UK. One of them we're going to taste on its own, and then the other 2 we're going to taste alongside different steaks to highlight how different Malbecs work differently with different cuts of meat. Malbec's obviously really well known as the sort of the perfect accompaniment to steak. So the first wine that we're tasting today is Argento Malbec. So Argento is relatively entry level, everyday Malbec. Really easy drinking, spends just 4 months on oak, and it comes from the Mendoza region, which is the most famous region of Argentina. Really well known for high altitude Malbec. So James and Rob are going to give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like.
So it's you'll find it's very medium bodied, very fruity, dark fruits coming through, very, very soft and velvety tannins. I would say this is probably an everyday drinking wine. Yeah, I can't fault it, it's lovely.
Okay, so this is the first wine that we're going to pair with steak. So this is a bit more of a refined wine. So this is Terrazas de los Andes. This comes from the Uco Valley, which is a sub-region of Mendoza. So it's a winery that was bought out a number of years ago by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, and they put a whole load of money into restructuring the entire winery and building something that gave the winemakers an ability to really focus on elegance. So you're talking about wines that have been grown at 1200 meters altitude. So that high altitude gives the wine real freshness, elegance, and really, really nice structure. So this spends 12 to 14 months in French oak. French oak always gives wine a bit more of a savoury edge. And we're having this with fillet steak. So Rob's going to talk about fillet steak, and then we'll taste them together.
Fantastic. So basically, this is from Alberta, Canada. It's from a company that we use for the company here called Simply Gourmet, and it's basically Treble A Canadian Heritage Angus, which is no hormones, no antibiotics, and yeah, it's a spectacular product, and we use it here in SDK, and I'm sure it will go fantastic with the wine.
So this is a fillet, right?
Yes, fillet.
Cool. So a fillet's obviously a little bit more of a mild steak, so we wanted something that is a little bit more elegant, which is why we've got the Terrazas. We'll come on to a heavier wine later on.
Goes perfectly with the wine.
Very nice. The wine is full-bodied, but it's very delicate at the same time. Probably be best with actually decanting the wine. But yeah, great pairing. Very nice.
So as the wine decants, as it opens up, the tannins will evolve, and it will just go really well with the protein structure in the meat. Okay, so third wine, final wine. We're tasting Kaiken Ultra. So it's a 100% Malbec again. It comes from the Uco Valley again, and this is from 3 different vineyard sites. So each vineyard site has a slightly different soil type. So from alluvial soils to clay soils. They're blended together to make a really nice, robust, refined Malbec. What we wanted was a wine that's stronger in character, more obvious tannin structure, because the steak we're about to have has got a higher fat content. So Rob's going to talk about the steak, and then we'll go back on to talking about how the wine actually is in the glass.
So again, the steak is from a company called Simply Gourmet, which is here in the UAE, which is the sole distributor of Canadian beef here in the UAE. And the beef itself is Canadian Treble A Heritage from Beretta Farm in Canada, in Alberta. And yeah, it's obviously got a lot of a higher fat content and will pair with the wine very well.
Very nice. So very full-bodied, but yet very soft tannins. Very, very nice.
So it spends 12 months on oak. So that oak just allows the tannins just to soften. And obviously this has been open now for about an hour, so they've softened even more.
Very nice. Yeah, perfect with the steak. definitely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So with the higher fat, generally it's almost like when you add milk and tea, right? So tea is high tannin, you add milk, which is protein. You can think of a similar sort of thing with when you're pairing wine and food. Generally, if you've got a high fat content, you want a wine that's got firm tannin. So this will have taken on some of the tannin. It's partly American oak as well, so it's where you get that sort of vanilla character, really dark red fruit. Good acidity as well. Malbec holds its acidity really well, particularly when it's high altitude. So that acidity helps cut through the fat as well. So yeah,
Great pairing.
Very
cool.
good.
Yes, very
Fantastic.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us today. All of the wines that we've tasted today are available at i-d-s.com. We've got a huge range of Malbecs at each one of our hubs, Dubai, the UK and Miami, and there will be offers available for Malbec World Day. So if you've got any questions, you can email us, but yeah, enjoy.